So when I was still in grade school, I woke up one morning and I couldn't get out of bed. I felt terrible. I felt extremely weak. And mother came in and I said, I can't get up. And my dad came in and they decided to call the doctor, which they didn't do a lot of house calls, but medical clinic wasn't far away. And the doctor came over to the house and he said, we're going to get her up to the hospital. So I forget how they took me up there, but I got up there and they said I've got hepatitis. It was, now they call it kind of a different names, but it was contagious hepatitis, very, very contagious. And they put me in a room and they said they don't really have any treatment for it. They just rest, drink water. You can't have any kind of medicine. There's a lot of things you couldn't have. And so they put me in the hospital room, and my parents could come in if they washed real good, if they put on a mask, if they put on a cover over their head and wore hospital coats. So they were just covered up. All I could really see is their eyes. But I was so tired all the time that I really didn't care that much. I just laid there and slept most of the time. And the nurses would come in and they would bathe me in the bed. You're not allowed to get out of bed at all. So they would wash me on one side, then roll me over and clean the sheet, change the sheet every day, wash me on the other side. And that went on for some time. At one time, I got a toothache, and I called the nurse's office, a nurse desk, and she said, well, I'm sorry, but we can't do anything for you. You just have to get through it. During the time, my mom would come visit every day. My dad would come over, in the evenings sometimes, not every day. He hated hospitals. But I had an Aunt Madeline. She was my mom's sister, and she would send me a card a day. And I was in there for months. And the first card had $1 in it, and the card said, on your first day in the hospital, which wasn't my first day, and the next day there was $2, and that went on until I had quite a bit of money saved up. Anyway, a boy that my brother knew, his brother got hepatitis, and he was in another room, and I never saw him, so there's no way of connecting our illnesses to one with another because I never saw him anywhere. But they figured out that the girl next door to me had got hepatitis, and they didn't bring her to the hospital. She was laying on her couch. Well, one day before I got sick, we were playing baseball in the backyard, which we often did with the kids around the neighborhood. And as usual, I was in the outfield. The outfield was in her yard. And so I said, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And she said, no, come in my house. And I said, no, I'm going to go home. And she goes, no, come on. It's got to be a lot quicker just to come in here. So I went to her house and I saw her sister. And I went in the bathroom and then I left. And wasn't too long after that I got very ill. And they said she had hepatitis, and the sister told me, oh yeah, everybody in the family had to get these shots right after she got sick. And so anyway, my whole family had to get shots too, but I didn't get a shot after I was exposed to her, which my friend was. And everybody that come to my house, mail ladies, Avon lady, friends of my mom's, everybody that came to the house had to get vaccinated. And but I had to carry it through. And towards the end, I started feeling better. And they were saying, okay, I've gotten through the worst part of it. And my dad came in, he said, are you hungry? And I said, yeah, I am hungry. And they were so glad because I hadn't been hungry at all and I wouldn't eat anything. And I just drank water. And so Dad said, what would you like to eat? Anything. We'll bring it up to you. And every Saturday night, my dad used to put grilled chicken on the barbecue outside. grilled chicken and baked potatoes with corn on the cob. It was all done on the grill, and it was so good. And I told him I was hungry for that. His eyes lit up, and he went home and started cooking it right away, brought it up, and I couldn't eat very much of it, but it was so good what I had. And even though it was a little bit, I did start to feel better, just having some good food. And then they told me I could get up out of the bed, and they could take me over to the shower. And I sat up and I said, I can get up on my own. I can walk to the shower. And they said, no, you can't really. And I said, yes, I can. And I tried it too, and I started to fall over. So they got me into the shower and set me down there, and I could take a shower. It felt so good. And then I got home, and I was so tired a lot. I'd sleep a lot, and I had to learn to walk again because I just had to keep practicing and practicing. And I started walking again, and pretty soon I was back in school, and I felt fine.